Hello everybody, welcome to another lesson by me, Miss Pythagoras. In this lesson, I will explain the revision of the grade 11 financial maths. This is lesson 1 of 8. The first thing that we will be looking at is simple interest. And the formula for simple interest is A is equal to P bracket 1 plus I times N. And this formula is on the formula sheet. Now, whenever we start with a sum, we will read through the question and we will underline or highlight the important parts. How long will it take an amount, we don't know, of money to treble, that means times 3, if it is invested at an interest rate of 7.5% per annum, simple interest, and that is what is telling you which formula to use. Give your answer in years and months. Now we start with examining the question. P, we don't know, an amount of money, so we call that one X. And remember, P means the principal amount, the amount that you start with. A is the end amount, and in this case the money trebled. That means X times 3. Then they give us the interest rate as 7.5%. And in our formula, there's an I. So what we do is we take the 7.5, divide by 100 is equal to 0.075. Then they told us it was invested simple interest. Therefore, we use the formula A is P bracket 1 plus I times N. Into A's place goes 3x. P, the principal, was x. 1 plus 0.075 for I, and N is what we are looking for. Then we can divide away the x. X and x will cancel. And in the next step, I can bring the 1 across. It becomes minus 1. So 3 minus 1, 2 is 0.075n. Divide away the 0.075 both sides, and we find n is 26.66. And remember, nowhere inside your sum you are allowed to round off. We will only round off the final answer every time. Now here, the 26 is fine because that is the years, but we have to convert the 0.66 into months. And how we do that is by saying 0.66 times 12 is 7.92, and we round it off to 8 months. Therefore, it will take 26 years and 8 months for an amount of money to treble. Compound interest, and the formula that you will use is A is equal to P bracket 1 plus I to the power of N. Let's read the sum and underline. First of all, Robin invested 25,000 Rand, and after 10 years her investment was worth 38,794 Rand and 11 cents. Determine the interest rate that she had received if the interest was compounded semi-annually. Very important, because it's this compounded part that's telling you which formula to use. The summary. A is the final amount, the 38,000. B is the principal amount, the 25,000. Into the formula. Now, let me just add here for you that indeed N was 10 years. Into the formula, A is equal to P bracket 1 plus I to the N. But we have to adjust our formula. Since this is semi-annually, that means half yearly, we will say I divide by 2 and N times 2. If it was monthly, it will be I divide by 12 and n times 12. If it was quarterly, it will be I divided by 4 and n times 4. Back to our sum. We substitute. In A's place, the final amount, the 38,000, equals P, the 25,000, bracket 1 plus I over 2, and then remember n was 10 years. Then we say 2 times 10 is 20, and I also divided the 25,000 both sides. Remember, there's no rounding off inside your sum. So what you're going to do is you're going to leave this one, and then you're going to get rid of this to the power of 20 by taking the 20th root on your calculator. And you work that out, no rounding off, you write that whole thing down. And then equals, and the 1 will go across and it becomes minus 1, which gives you 0, 0,0222, etc. And then we want I, so it's this divide by 2 that's in the way, so we times by 2 this side. What we do on the one side, we do on the other side. And then we end with I being 0, 0,0444, etc. But it is interest rate. Therefore, we're going to take I and times it by 100, and the rate will be 4,44% per annum. Before we continue, have you subscribed yet? You can also visit my website, onlinemaths.co.za. There you will find all the chapters in the grade 11 and 12 syllabus. Also feel free to leave a comment or like my video. Let's continue with the maths. Now there's something that we call simple decay or depreciation. And our formula is A is equal to P bracket 1 minus I times N, also on the formula sheet. And usually depreciation you will find in electronic appliances, for example laptops and cell phones and office furniture, etc. Let's start with the sum. Calculate the price of a laptop if its depreciated value after 6 years is 5,300 Rand and the rate of depreciation was 13% based on the linear or straight line depreciation method. That is what is telling you that this is the formula that you're going to use. Summary. N, 6 years. A, the final amount, 5,300. I, we take the rate, the 13%, 13 over 100 equals 0,13. And what are we looking for? P, the original amount, or the original price rather. Into the formula. Why this formula? Because they said linear or straight line depreciation method. Now we substitute. In A's place 5,300 equals P is the thing we're looking for, 1 minus bracket 0,13 times 6. Then in the next step 0,13 times 6 is 0,78, and we say 1 minus 0,78 is 0,22, and we divide away the 0,22. Therefore, this laptop's original price was 24,090 Rand and 91 cents. Reducing balance method, and there is our formula. A is equal to P bracket 1 minus I to the N. Again, let's start reading and highlighting whatever information is given. Office furniture were valued at 125,000 Rand, depreciates at 21% per annum on a reducing balance. That is what's telling us which formula to use. Determine the value of the furniture after 3 years. Now we make our summary. P, the principal amount, 125,000 Rand. I, the 21%, over 100, 0,21. In 3 years, into the formula. Why this formula? Reducing balance. That is what's telling you that you have to use that formula. Then in P's place, we substitute the 125,000. 1 minus I was 0,21 to the power of 3. We say 1 minus 0,21 is 0,79 to the power of 3. Can you see how I do it step by step and no rounding off? Times the 125,000. Therefore, the office furniture's value after the 3 years will be 61,629 Rand and 88 cents. Can you see it depreciated? Nominal and effective interest rate. And this is the formula that you will use to convert between effective and nominal interest rate. Please note, this formula is not on the formula sheet, so you have to remember this one. Nominal interest rate, that is the annual interest rate that is quoted. Annual means per year. Effective interest rate, that is the actual rate achieved per annum. Nominal and effective interest rate, here's an example. There's your formula. Determine the effective annual interest rate. So this is the one we're looking for. IEFF, interest rate of 9,5% compounded monthly, correct to 2 decimal places. Therefore, the 9,5% is the same as 9,5 over 100, which is 0,095, into our formula. And the one that we're looking for is the effective annual interest rate. So therefore, we make that one the subject of the formula, 1 plus. Now, can you see I nominal? What happened here was it was the 0,095 divided by 12 because of monthly. And then the n you also raise to the power of 12. And then when you slot that into your calculator, well, I did 1 plus the 0,095 over 12, raise it to the power of 12, and I get 1,099247584. No rounding off. Then the 1 will walk across and it becomes -1, and then the where am I now? The effective interest rate is 0,099, but remember we want the rate, so we times that one by 100. Therefore, the effective annual interest rate is 9,92%. Now that we've done the grade 11 revision, we can move on to grade 12 work. Click on the video in the left-hand corner to take you straight to the next lesson. There I will explain how to use logarithms to find the period of an investment.